Good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm so happy to be here to share something about my country, China, especially the Church of China. As you know, that the Church of China is very complex. The Chinese church is inclusive of the church in China mainland, the one in Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, and any Chinese Catholic community in any overseas countries. Due to this complexity, I would like to share on the role of the Chinese lay woman in the Chinese church through the experience of a lay Catholic woman in her local church in Beijing, and then the lay Catholic women in the Diocese of Hong Kong, and lastly, some of my personal contact experience with Catholic lay women in the recent years. As you know, that the Chinese women's role in China mainland, due to the government in recent years in China, has made great effort to raise the status of women. Women have the same right as men, equal opportunity for job, to education, which led to the improvement of the status in the family as well as in the society. But women in Hong Kong are in a similar situation, but somehow the social situation is different, since it had been a British colony before 1997. Due to the impact of Vatican II, especially in liturgy, the concept of evangelization, the emphasis on participation in the church, both in the service and on the administrative level. In recent years, the number of Chinese in China has increased. According to the general impressions, there are more women than men. For example, in Beijing Diocese, there are about 10,000 believers, and 60% are women. When the church reopened in China in the 80s, the majority of the believers were women. With the impact of Vatican II and the shortage of clergy, many Catholic women broadened their concept of evangelization and began to take an active role in the local church. More and more Catholic women were prepared only for basic formation in catechetics, but they began to commit themselves actively in their local churches. I'm going to give you the experience of a Chinese woman in her local church, Beijing. In her local church, the Catholic women served in the liturgical committee as Eucharistic ministers, altar services, in the choir, and as readers. They take part in the preaching ministry and evangelization committees at catechists and faith formators. But somehow the bigger majority, they stay at home, as according to Papa Francesco, they are the silent force in the family, for forming the family and also formation and education of younger generation in their faith. In Hong Kong Diocese, the participation of Catholic women in the church is similar to the Catholic woman in her local church in China. However, Catholic women in the diocese in Hong Kong have a greater opportunity for greater involvement. Soon after Vatican II, the Diocesan Seminary College opened its doors first to women villagers, then to laity, both male and female students. Later, the establishment of the Hong Kong Biblical Catholic Institute and the Diocesan Catechism Center offered more opportunity to laity for faith education. Usually, the number of female students is more than the male students. higher education in the Catholic Church and traditions, enable Catholic women to engage positions of leadership, formation, and administration not only on the local level, but also on the diocesan level, such as being members of various diocesan committees. Even before 1996, there were 2 Catholic lay women teaching in the diocesan seminary in Hong Kong. These are the outstanding changes in the role of Catholic women in the Church of Hong Kong Diocese in the past 30 years. In my personal contact with Catholic lay women in recent years, it is very encouraging that at the moment there are at least 5 younger generation Catholic women, 3 from Hong Kong Diocese, 1 from Macau, 1 from Taiwan, pursuing doctoral studies in Rome and 1 in USA as well, in view of serving their respective dioceses after completion in the near future. Recently, to my commitment in the Fray Messi Center of the SVD, among the translators for our publication of the translated Catholic journals, and in the project of a translated and added Catholic encyclopedia in Chinese, more than 1/3 of the lay Catholic women are our translator. They have completed their higher academic education and formation in theology and philosophy. Though this is only a cream, it could be the yeast in the dough, bringing further and tremendous and more extensive changes in the role of women in the church, in the Chinese church. Of course, there are difficulties we have to overcome. We believe that the lay women's role in the Church of China has been changing greatly and will become more important in the future. However, there are difficulties encountered. In Chinese mainland, most of the country's male and females are still lacking education, especially the females. The experience of the above-mentioned Catholic woman in her local church is just a picture from a big church in China. In the less developed and rural areas, the situation is very different and is still in need of much improvement. Secondly, the mentality of Confucianism, the head of the woman is man. The gender differences is still embedded in the mind of the Chinese, no matter in or outside China. Nowadays, more women in more developed areas received higher education and are working full-time in various professional fields. This creates tension between family life and offering service in the church. Thirdly, the emphasis on clericalism and the leadership of priests in the church is still very strong. Fourthly, as for Hong Kong, uncertainty about the future will be a factor requiring attention. In order to draw all the conclusion is, some of the aspects of the changes of the role of women in the Chinese church are similar to those in other countries. Yet, the Chinese church has its own peculiarity because of its complexity in geography, mentality, and situation. The examples mentioned above are only a glimpse of the whole picture of the role of women in the Chinese church. Somehow, these examples show that education is one of the important and essential factors in the development and changes of the role of women in the church as well as in the society. Thank you.